For my lesson plan, I chose to use color symbol image. I use this as an extension for an already active activity that I use in science already to show rotations and revolutions. What I thought of, since this is in the middle of a unit and not the first thing we do, this is going to be used as a particular activity that is kind of on its own, and that kind of helps me identify this particular lesson and if this is actually an effective pairing of these two, and if using this would be worthwhile. So like I said, we were talking about rotations and revolutions. Before this, we've been talking about the solar system, the structure of the solar system, the order of the planets, the inner planets, the outer planets, what they're made of, things like that. And later, we will have a summative quiz regarding the important concepts, the order of the planets, what they're made of, this particular activity, rotations, revolutions, and how those are years and days. And like I said, I'm using color symbol image. My school doesn't use state standards. We use I can statements, which are borrowed from Common Core. So my standard is I can demonstrate a rotation of the Earth as well as a revolution of the Earth around the Sun. My objectives: I want my students to apply the definition of the Earth's daily rotation using the CSI activity as well as the revolution around the Sun using the CSI activity, and then to synthesize this information together. I wanted to combine those definitions into one visual representation. For my thinking objectives, I wanted them to generate 3 visual representations of the words rotation and revolution, and then justify each representation with explanation of each visual's meaning. Since this has an active piece and then the CSI activity, what you need to do is you need to put all of the desks in the middle of the room, all your chairs, everything, and create basically a circle around the outside. Students will stand in that space that surrounds the outside of the classroom space. I put in there that having an object to represent the sun can help with the visual for the activity piece. It doesn't matter either way, but if you wanted to use that, I put one in the resources. So there are 2 pieces that I wanted to do here. The first piece, to introduce rotations and revolutions. Essentially what you do, the Earth rotates and revolves simultaneously around the sun. And what you do is you have the students line up around the outside, and then they practice learning what rotating is, where you're actually just turning in a circle, just like the Earth does once per day. And then at the same time, it's revolving, where it is traveling on its orbit around the sun. And then the students work on learning that piece of rotating and revolving at the same time. So there's the piece where you cement in the idea of rotating and revolving. From there, then you move on to the CSIRoutine, where you find the color that helps them connect with the learning, then finding a symbol that helps them connect with the learning, and then finding an image that helps them connect with the symbol as well. What I put on there is this should be a grouped activity, maybe 3 to 4 students per group, depending on your class size, of course. And as you go through, make sure you're asking follow-up questions. What makes you think that? Are there other images? Are there other colors? Are there other symbols that helped you connect with the learning as well? Part of what's great about the CSI activity is it can actually help you learn a new way of thinking by thinking kind of how somebody else thinks. But what I said is it's important to understand the piece of sharing with each other and being able to kind of reflect as a group and being able to connect with each other in that way. From there, I just made sure as an extension to put this maybe in a group discussion in the LMS, perhaps as an all-class discussion, kind of like we did in this class. In the same way, having an individual assignment be turned in would be very helpful as well, because that would help me get more individualized, create a feedback loop. with the students to really connect with that deeper thinking, help me develop that relationship piece of, okay, if the UPS logo really helped you understand revolutions around the sun, then I know that when I'm talking to you later and you need help remembering that, I can bring up the UPS logo, and hopefully that helps you click back into the understanding piece. I'm planning on using the quiz that comes after this as my data point to understand if students retain the information well. Excuse me. The piece there that I thought might be also interesting, if the students really connect with that as a point to improve this unit further and further. If these students really do well with this could be something that we use constantly in this unit or throughout the year. But if we did this unit, maybe students could compile this together into a book to help them just retain that information, kind of use it almost as a study guide to help them connect with the lesson. So as you can see, it is a way to get kind of that more deep connection with the vocabulary words as opposed to just being the main part of the activity. It is a way to really get that deep critical thinking within a lesson that's already, a good one that hits multiple learning styles. So thank you for watching.